All right. And we're not starting with a mute this time because we're big brain and we figured it out. My name is Sable. I'm joined by Endo for the first cast of the day. Air versus Brambleback, Season 7, Week 6 of the Rec League. How you doing, Endo?
Oh, I'm freaking hyped, man. This is when it starts getting super, super good. We're getting close to playoffs, and everyone's kind of counting the games, trying to figure out how do we stay in, where do we place. So everything matters now.
Yeah, absolutely. Super important and a lot of playoff implications here for Air Drake. If they're able to pick up, I believe, one win, they lock their spot for playoffs in the conference if I have done my math correctly, which there's a high chance that I haven't.
I let's go ahead and take a look right now at the standings here because currently Air is standing at 3 wins, 7 losses. Ocean is 1 win, 7 losses. So if they lose two and Ocean Sweeps. Do Ocean play next week as well?
So Ocean play this week and next week. Air is only has this week left. So
So Ocean would have to 2-0, Air would have to 0-2, and Ocean would have to win one more game next week.
yeah, yep.
Bring out your
But
abacuses.
crucially next week. Wait, yeah. That's it. Yeah, we need abacuses though. We need like big abacuses. And I know, Brian, I shaved for my Halloween costume. It was Kylo Ren, and my girlfriend was Rey from the new Star Wars. Sick costume. She got all the stuff from the store, and they turned out really, really well. I'll have to find a picture and post it for you guys. But yeah, shaved the facial hair for it, and I feel like a very young man. It's super uncomfortable, and over here taunting me with his unshaven face. So, but yeah, so back to the games here. We're getting Air versus Bramble back. It looks like Air will be taking blue side for game one. How are you expecting this one to play out? I have a graphic I'm going to pull up while we talk about this.
Yeah, so Air's roster changes with the wind, as appropriate as that is. I think since they've put Paco in the jungle, they've kind of turned into a different team. He's a great player who shouldn't be stuck on that top lane island. He definitely needs to have impact on the map. I don't know if support's the right place or top's the right place. Jungle seems to be his new home, and I'm excited to see how he compares to Quicksilver Sasha, as we all know, who is a tremendous jungler.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about the junglers, I could have pulled that graphic, but for me, what stands out in this game is probably going to be the mid lane matchup. Um, really excited. We've seen Hippie pull some interesting picks out in the mid lane. We've seen him have some pop off games and some games where there's a little bit left to be desired there. And we see Pickle Popper, who's looked consistently pretty dominant as the matches have gone, and I've been really impressed with his performance. I think a lot of this game is going to come down to who can have a bigger impact in the mid lane for their team, and that does
Yeah,
come down to
definitely.
junglers a lot too.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there. Which hippie are we getting? Is it going to be Haim Hippie or Haim Hopi? And be a little sloppy there, you know? Hopefully we get the hippie player out so we see a great series.
Yeah,
I believe it was against the Ocean game. His Lux just turned on out of
yes,
nowhere. It
yeah,
was
absolutely.
amazing.
It absolutely did, and I think without any further delay, we can get into the game here. I'm going to send it to the players, let them know where R to go, and see if they can get this one going into Champ Select.
All right, let's go. Big start for the Sunday Rec League playoff implications on the line. Which Air Drake's going to show up? We know. I mean, Bramble's just been consistent the entire year, having a really strong record. I believe they're 7-1 now.
Yeah, and everybody put them at number one this past week in State of the League for the power rankings. Everybody had Brambleback number one seed with the aggregated rankings, and they're just looking unstoppable. So Air has a tall task ahead of them if they want to actually pull out a W here. It's going to be tough, but like you said, with Paco going to the jungle, they got a new player down in the bot lane we haven't touched on yet. Rise at Dusk is their new player in the AD carry role. Haven't really seen. I don't think he played in any in-houses. I think he's just a new recruit to the rec league in general. So it's kind of an unknown factor down there. We know Jay Herbo has been dominant, but what can Rise at Dusk do? We're gonna have to see.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing about Brambleback too. Is not only do they have great players, their lane assignments seem to be appropriate.
Yeah,
Jay
yeah,
Herbo likes to scale. Pickle Popper is a lane dominant guy. Sasha's super aggressive, which you love to see in the jungle. Noel Lark is that permanent shield. It's hard to crack that guy in the top lane. So they're all finding their right homes, which I think is what's kind of cool that they're versing Air now, because Air has come to that spot now
yeah.
where I think they found the right homes for their players.
I think so as well. And with that, we're gonna send it to Champ Select here for Game One, Air versus Brambleback. Air starting on this blue side. If we can get the graphic right here, there we go. And we'll see what they try to pull out in the ban phase. I'm expecting to see some mid lane picks targeted from Air and some jungle picks targeted in the ban phase.
Yep, right off the bat, they ban. Before I even get to talk about the Vigar, thank you. You banned Poppy. Even Colonel Paco himself says, I can't believe people leave Poppy up for me. So nice scouting by Bramble there.
Yeah, if these guys have been in the rec league for long enough, they know that Colonel Paco is known for that champion. Looks like they're taking the Pantheon away as well. Don't want to see that one come out of CLG Worthy Dust in the bot lane, most likely. Has been a strong pick in the support role there, and Galio taken away from Brambleback.
Yeah, that's two mid lane bans right now. We'll see if they go 3 for 3 to truly They go after J4.
Yeah,
So
smart.
Paco is known for his Poppy, and Quicksilver Sasha is known for her J4. They're doing their homework here, which is nice to see. We'll see how it's going to pay off in the end.
Yeah, I'm surprised more teams. I'm surprised Sasha's gotten to play that champion at all this season because that's far and away her best jungler. And most teams ban it, but some have let it through. Is Samira taken away from Airdrake on that side? So clearly they've scouted Rise of Dusk and don't want to play against that champion.
I mean, Samira is just so strong. It's I always get the feeling that Air spot lane likes to be a little snowbally in the beginning. If Pant and Samira are your biggest threats, that means you're very aggressive in the bot lane.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the insta-lock Shen Nocturne for the side of Brambleback, already looking for that global composition, which is very threatening and something they've shown to be really, really good at.
Oh man, that's so hard because you are never truly winning a fight if you have a Shen or Nocturne on the opposite team. At any second, those ults can go off and completely change the tides.
Yeah, and I believe we see the bot lane here now locked in, unless that's a Morgana mid. Pretty unlikely, but looking like it's going to be Jhin Morgana in the bot lane there for Rise of Dusk and CLG Worthy Dust, who have a lot to prove here going up against one of the, if not the best bot lanes in the league here with J Herbo and Latin Buddha. But they picked themselves a pretty safe lane, all things considered.
Yeah, and it's a good catch lane too. Oh, actually, that might not be a Morgana bot. That is a Thresh bot.
There we go, just as we talked about it.
All right. Now, do you think that's a Morgana jungle or Morgana mid? Or perhaps it's a flex?
Even top. Like, Morgana can go really anywhere. I mean, it's not optimal anywhere, but yeah, I like the flex coming out here as the Talon hovered for Pickle Popper. Probably not going to pick that one up, but maybe he will.
Yeah. That's
yeah, no,
funny
it's
to see.
Troll hover.
And we see Leo getting secured here for Latin Buddha. It's probably going to, that Morgana's probably a flex, but it's probably going mid. I've seen Hippie play it before. And it's great to, if you want to have an impact around the map. However, Bramble disagrees with me. They go ahead and ban Diana, which we know is a strong Hippie champion.
Yeah.
Just in case they decide to give Morg somewhere else, they're going to go ahead and get rid of that.
Yeah, it kind of pinches the flex too, because if you are planning on flexing it, you want to have, the point of that is to have some champions open in the other roles that you want to go for, and Bramble making a smart adaptation, just banning out one of those roles anyway to kind of pinch the pool of whatever player they're hoping to flex that away from or to. So it's a nice adaptation from Brambleback. And, you know, all things considered, the Shen technically could be a flex to the jungle as well, and the Nocturne could be going to the mid lane, but you have to assume they're going to probably be in the roles they're locked in now.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I'm interested to see if they're gonna leave Kassadin up. They go ahead and get rid of the Malphite. That's a Dainty Taco special.
Absolutely.
He really likes playing that champ in top. And it's a great team fighting champ. It gets the party started immediately.
Yes, it does. And if you already have the Leona Shen combo, you don't want to have a Malphite on top of that, because that's just horrifying. That just adds to the Wombo combo potential that they do have. As Vayne taken away from J Herbo in the bot lane is a nice ban. He's shown a lot of propensity to be good at that champion, and probably going to see the Caitlyn come through here, one of the strongest marksmen in the meta currently. It's a decent answer to Jhin, but Jhin actually has a pretty strong lane into the Caitlyn. It's a good answer to that pick, but you know, it all comes down to how these players are going to play their champions in the bot lane. The counters aren't always true in the rec league. You know, it depends how good you are in individual mechanics.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And like, I mean, with the Leo Caitlyn, there's always that scary combo. You know, Leo gets on top of you, holds you in place for Caitlyn, put down a trap, and suddenly you're dead. There's nothing you can do. You're just dead.
Yeah, Brian the Broken in the chat with the 5-head Ornn prediction, calling that one. Taco locks that one in for the top lane, and we'll probably see the mid lane locked here. It is the Victor taken for Haim Hippie. So a pretty safe champion and a lot of kite back potential away from the engage of Brambleback coming out of Airdrake. So I really like the picks they've chosen here. The only vulnerability really is this Jhin. It's going to be very susceptible to a backline dive from the Nocturne, but there's not a lot of follow for the Nocturne to go in. You can have the Shen ult on top of him, but that's two champions going to the same place, and if you kite back effectively, you kite both of them away at the same time. So we'll see if they pick any follow-up dive for the mid lane. They do not. But that is a very strong mage.
Game.
It's a Aurelian soul game. We wanted to see it. Everybody's kind of been waiting for Pickle Popper to pull this champion out. Is known for it. One of the only players in the league that does play that champion. And it looks like it will be that Morgana jungle most likely.
I'm super interested to see what Paco can do with this Morgana jungle. I think it's a very, very strong pick if you have to practice with it. Her clear is insane. Obviously, her Q, it snares you for so long, you can literally take a bathroom break in the middle of the
Yep.
gank and you still haven't moved.
uh,
So it's nice. It's just the only hesitation I might have is it might be hard to get that gank going on. And actually, no, actually, the Aurelion Soul is pretty gankable, especially with the Morgana Black Shield. So
yeah.
he's not going to be able to stun him. I think actually this is a great pick.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal pick. If you lay down a nice gravity field from Victor, it can slow him up enough. Even some nice roams from the Thresh will go a long way of punishing this Space Dragon in the mid lane. We'll have to see if they end up going for that, because Nocturne's early levels aren't that great in a 2v2. So we'll have to see if the pressure Paco can put out is going to be enough to get through this early game. Zulmorn, subscribe to the Rec League. Thank you very much. Brian the
We have
Broken,
Brian the
actually,
Broken
yeah.
gifting 3-tier subs. Shout out to Brian
Yes.
the Broken, a
Zulmorn, Pizza Vincent
godfather
Timberlake.
and an avid fan. So we
You
appreciate
love
that.
you love to see it. The benevolence of the founding fathers. I unleash my wallet when Soul is picked. You heard it here first. Soul every game. Brian's wallet's going to be hurting.
That's it. We guys got to get the jerseys going, so everyone start picking ASOL. ASOL works top, right? I think I might start practicing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Put some games in real quick here after the cast, and we'll get that one going.
Yeah, so we have a huge pick potential here on the side of Bramble. Um, with the Shen and Nocturne, that is a scary combo. But team fight wise, who do you think actually when it's like the 5v5 ARAM that can tend to happen in Rec League? Which side would you give it to?
So honestly, in a straight up 5v5, I would favor Airdrake's composition just because they have the Ornn and the Victor. There's so much zone control from Ornn and Victor. It's really hard for Aurelion Sol to kind of maneuver around the fights the way that he wants to. And when you have a backline diver like Nocturne, but then you have backliners like Asol and Caitlyn who kind of want to be like on the outskirts of the fight, weaving in and out, and the only peel that's really then available is the Leona, it gets really easy for Airdrake's composition with the Victor, Morgana, Jhin, and the Thresh to kind of kite back and get away from a lot of the threats that Brambleback's going to be throwing at them. So if played correctly, I think in a straight up 5v5, just compositionally, if there's not a massive lead on either side, Airdrake should have an advantage. But Bramble is known to snowball these games to the point where your advantage in draft doesn't matter because they're just smacking you with their wallets.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very strong laners on the side of Bramble. I'm excited to see Rise at Dusk here in this game because if he is that all-star ADC they've been looking for, he has a lot of support with from his team, right?
He does, and they're putting a lot of eggs in the Rise at Dusk basket here with the supportive picks in the jungle top and obviously support role, and a lot of zone control from the mid lane. They're really banking on this Jhin to get ahead and to be able to output that damage in the team fights. And if he's not, then they're really lacking the physical damage composition from their team, and it's going to be tough for them to actually take down this Shen, take down this Leona. So, putting a lot of faith in their new AD carry.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now the only people who can ever possibly kill Shen or Leo is a super fed Victor and Hi I'm Hippie, or even Jin. Jin struggles with tanks, right? He's more of a he likes seeing more brawlers on the other side of the map.
Yes, you do see a dog. He's hanging out in here with me. But yeah, Jin does end up struggling, but the mobility that he gets from his kit is going to be, like we were talking about, hard to get on top of for Brambleback with really just the Shen. I mean, the Nocturne with the Shen on top of him that have the capability to get in there.
Meanwhile, on the side of Bramble, I know we are just talking a lot about Air Drake. I'm excited to see them, like you said, the laning dominance, the picks. Once Shen and Nocturne hit level 6, you basically don't want to pick a fight in any other lane. Um, if you start winning as Jin and Thresh in the bot lane, I mean, you can just have that 2v2 can turn into a 4v2 instantly.
Oh
And
yeah,
terrifying. It's terrifying.
it
You see
is.
the screen go dark, everyone's pinging, but your pings don't work, everyone's screaming. Or at least that's what Scuttle Crab's comms are like.
Everybody
Get
just yelling,
away! I'm scared! No, don't touch me!
nervous Adolma noises. It's my favorite thing that came out of the Scuttle Crab games.
She's, but luckily Silky Bandit speaks Nervous Adoma, so he's able to
Perfect.
save him in that game.
We're bilingual here. We take those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we'll see Brambleback's gonna. I mean, Brambleback they have a lot of. They're a smart team comp. They macro well and they know what their strengths are.
Yeah.
Where sometimes we'll see certain teams pick team comps and not play to those comps' strength. Bramble very rarely doesn't know what their win condition is. All right, and we are into the game. We have everyone loading in.
Yes, we do. I'm at 15 seconds game time right now, going 16, 17, 18. So hopefully we're at the same.
Exact same. Perfect.
And we see Pickle Popper actually opting to go for the Ghost Flash, knowing that there's going to be a lot of pressure put onto him here in this mid lane, most likely in the early game, is a little safer with these summoners. And Airdrake maybe getting a little cheeky here with their invade. But Bramble,
I like
opposite side of the map.
Aggressiveness. Oh, but the 5 stack on the other side of the map. You think he goes for the steal? Is he brave enough? Nope, they're just kind of peeking, looking around.
Yeah, the Godwin got some early vision down, which is good. I don't like that ward behind the red buff that they placed. It doesn't get you any information early, unless they were walking up that way. But actually looks like they might meet each other here at the red buff because Bramble's still walking in.
Oh, the shenanigans. And they're going to get a ward down as well. Perhaps that ward was just to see if they can maybe get a pick with a snare or something. Paco wants to know if he wanted to start Q or E, and someone sitting in that bush.
To be fair.
Maybe.
Be snare.
To be snare.
Yeah, so Bramble's going to know here where they're starting for Airdrake. It shouldn't do too much. Typically, bot lane does start with that leash for the jungler on the red side, but we'll have that information. We'll see if they do anything with it. As I expect to see Paco just kind of going for a full clear here.
Yeah. And have you played a lot of Morgana jungle? What are your thoughts?
I have not. If I'm going to play an AP jungler, I like to stick to champions like Lilia, Gragas, Sylas, Echo. I think Morgana's a little weaker in the jungle role. If you have other AP picks that scale a little bit better and do a little bit more for the team, but it can definitely be a strong pick in the right hands.
Oh, we see Pickle just instantly pushing in Hi-Am Hippie, utilizing Aurelion Soul. He's put a lot of hours onto that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the fast level 2 for Brambleback's bot lane. Looks like they might try to go in.
Oh, we have everyone engaging on each other here. Nolark bullying Dainty Taco in the top lane there, chunking him down pretty low, using that level 2 advantage. And, I mean, I know Shen's technically a tank, but, I mean, first 4 levels, he's an assassin. Can't prove it otherwise.
No, you cannot. Kind of similar to Ornn, right? And he's occupies a lot of roles within the game. Assassin, tank, bruiser. Can kind of do it all in the laning phase. And we expect to see Ornn maybe start bullying the Shen when he gets a few more levels on his belt. But some trading going on in the mid lane here.
Yeah, and we actually have Colonel Paco kind of walking in, getting that trading going. Oh, Pickle's chunked pretty low. Barely dodges the snare there. He's going to have to read a book if that landed before he can control his character again. And nice. I'm really enjoying this Hi-Am Hippie and Pickle Popper back and forth so far. Hippie's got quite the HP lead here,
Yeah.
but Pickle, I'm sorry, Hippie. Yeah, Hippie has it. Pickle and Hippie for some reason sounded similar. But Pickle was able to secure the stun and get away. And this is the strength of Victor. He can be quite the bully. Nice counter there. Oh, Pickle's getting so low. Even with the electrocute, he's way low on health.
Yeah, and he's out of pots now. He's used all his pots. Hippie still has the one charge of the corrupting pot left, and Pickle's just getting absolutely bullied out of this lane.
He's gonna have to leave. And yeah, he goes ahead and backs with that wave crashing in. That's gonna give Hippie the advantage. And you know, we may not see that early lane bully that we see from Pickle. Meanwhile, Taco knocking up Nolark. He's unable to hit the passive. Oh, he does get it. Gets the stun up. There's a lot of minions there that Nolark's going to have to contest with, but he still gets a very nice trade onto Taco.
Yeah, good trade. Still a charge of the potion left for the Ornn in the top lane, though, so it's going to come out with a health lead. Also, we'll be able to get some grasp procs in that lane as well, and was a good trade by Nolark, but, you know, he is going to have to base probably a little bit sooner and burn that teleport to get back.
Yeah, we're already seeing Air kind of having a nice lead. Oh, he misses the taunt, and again, there's that big minion wave you normally don't want to trade into waves that large because it's almost a 2v1.
Yeah.
Taco showing some initiative, goes and knocks him up, steps away. I'm liking this aggressive Taco.
I'm liking it too, and it's a style we want to see out of this player. Knowing that the junglers tend to not come top lane, you can kind of flex your muscles a little bit in this lane and have that individual prowess that you need to see in the top laners, because it is basically a 1v1 for most of the game, and you like to see people getting aggressive like that with their trades. And he shouldn't have to teleport now back to the top lane. He should just be able to walk it out because he did push the wave to a good spot. We'll see if he holds that one. It looks like he is just walking back up.
Perfect. And that's such a strong move to get a big wave pushed into turret, so you basically get a free back. And then the wave's going to bounce, and you're going to have a freeze, like I said, for free.
Yeah.
Who is this Taco?
He's doing good. He's playing extremely well.
Taco. He's a sturdy Taco.
Yeah, that is a beefy Taco. That is some carne asada there in the top lane, looking absolutely massive. And we talked about the laning prowess from Brambleback, but honestly, the mid lane and the bot lane right now, accumulating CS leads for Airdrake, looking strong. Their laning phase is looking like it's going really well.
Yeah, Hayam Hippie's really responding correctly to this Aurelion Soul, who typically likes to shove and bully a little bit, but he's been dodging the stuns. He's been reacting appropriately with damage of his own. This Victor choice is working really well. Oh, we get a stun onto Hayam Hippie, but then the W comes down, stuns him back. He's going to go ahead and trade damage. Unfortunately, he has too many cooldowns. And
he has the ultimate available.
Oh, no! He didn't use the ult!
I'm confused as to why he didn't use it there. Could have definitely burned the Flash of the Ghost, which you're always happy trading those for an ultimate. But I guess he just opted to save that there. I think that's maybe a bit of a misstep from Hippie. Could have definitely burned summoners.
Shen is 6. He may have been fearing that he might have overcommitted and didn't have his jungler around. Nice hook by Worthy Dust in the bot lane. Gets the flail on. Jin's going to go ahead and stun him up. Rise at Dusk going to reload in the face of Jay Herbo, who's going to trade damage back onto Thresh.
Oh, the Shen ult. The Shen ult came down.
The Shen ult. They blew it. They're going to be safe now for a minute and a half.
Oh, no. And that is such a misstep by Nollark. His laners were in absolutely no danger of perishing there. The Ignite was up on Worthy Dust, but that wasn't going to be something that was a kill. I mean, Arrow wasn't even looking for the kill there. They're just looking to get some chip damage down, and Nollark thought maybe there was a little bit more that was going to happen, pops that ultimate, and now just has to walk it back to top lane with no teleport as Dainty Taco pushes this lane in, but Bramble does go for the dragon.
Yeah, they're going to... Oh, wow. Actually, we have Lad and Buddha getting a little love from the dragon.
Oh, so low. Oh, my God.
Pago just picking away at him from the safety of the wall on the other side. They do pick up the Ocean Drake, which is a nice trade-off. However, this is something that we saw. I mean, I played in it, but this is something that we saw from Thursday night's game when you verse Ornn. If you roam from top lane against an Ornn, he doesn't want to follow you. He's sitting there to try and get level 14 as soon as possible. Yeah. He's happy to let you go and just call the pings out. Taco's now getting the farm. He's getting the levels, although he is currently down in farm.
He is.
But he does have a little bit of a level lead here on Shen, and that's all you really got to do as Ornn.
And he has the teleport advantage now too, crucially. Shen not having that ult or teleport available. And I am confused as to why the Victor didn't roam to that dragon fight. We saw how low they got. He had his ultimate available, was pretty healthy. Probably could have just walked over and maybe threatened some kills. His bot lane engages.
Oh, we haven't engaged. Here comes the Shen ult. That's the fear that we were always talking about. I mean, the Nocturne ult, we're going to have Thresh go really low. First blood goes over to Lad and Buddha, though, and Rise of Dusk goes and trades the kill onto Sasha. We take those, I think.
We absolutely take those. Paco getting jumped on here in the top lane. Has the ultimate, though.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and try and lock down Nollark, make him think about what he's done. We have Taco coming up from behind. He's going to knock him up. Nollark's getting very low. Oh, the snare goes wide, so Nollark has a chance to flash out. We're going to see if Dainty Taco's going to go ahead and flash commit. He does, waiting for his cooldown, and Taco takes down Nollark.
Taco, huge with that play, but Paco might be a little caught out here. Has the flash available, should be able to get out.
Yeah, oh, and then we have Pickle actually flashing over. He's telling him to stop beat on my friends, and then he goes ahead and secures the kill. Meanwhile, in bot lane, we have Lad and Buddha going ahead and just annihilating the Jhin. He might have overstayed just a little bit with that greeting.
He did overstay. Greeting for that cannon wave, and I was just about to praise the Airdrake bot lane on the previous play going so much in their favor with their AD carry picking up a kill, but the support only got a kill for Brambleback, but now they equalize. Both members for Bramble now having the kills in the bot lane, and what looked pretty good for Airdrake is now, stabilized for Bramble pretty decently.
Yeah. I mean, big heads up play by Pickle. I mean, that's what Soul does best, right? Is roaming to the other lanes. He sees that that there's a fight going up there, and he's able to get up there instantly, because otherwise that was going to be a huge wash. currently have Quicksilver Sasha securing the. I believe you got the Rift Herald there, correct?
Yeah, I think she did take that Rift Herald. We're probably going to see that one dropped most likely top lane here. Looks like she's making her way up there. A little early on the drop, but might be able to get a dive off onto Dainty Taco. But if there's anything we know about Ornn, it's pretty hard to dive that champion.
Yeah, we do have Colonel Paco going up to join. They get 2 plates for that. Perhaps just wanting to get that lane over with and want the Shens to be able to roam around a little bit more. I guess it's hard to pressure mid lane time. Hippies, Victor is really good at pushing. Oh, we have a fight here. Nice spell shield by Quicksilver Sasha. Colonel Paco maybe a little bit too far out. We have the ult coming down to secure the kill. Kill goes over to Nolard, but we have Paco trading over. Quicksilver Sasha drops again. Meanwhile, the bot lane, Big Leo is going to be stunned up forever. Worthy Dust going to be able to flail away J Herbo, but it's not enough. Latin Bula is going to secure all the kills. He's saying, look at me, I'm the carry now.
Ooh.
We have Kate channeling the ult and gets the kill onto Rise at Dust. J Herbo's playing out of his mind. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we have Dainty Taco coming in. Pickle so low when he drops. That's the Ornn securing the kill. Nolan's going to try and limp away here. He is very, very tanky. He's going to try and survive on the tower, and he's able to do so. There's action all over the map.
So much action, and the bot lane just getting hard punished there. Jay Herbo and Latin Buddha with a phenomenal engage to get on top of Worthy Dust. Thought he was going to live there with a sliver of HP, ends up getting taken out by the Caitlyn, and then the perfect Piltover Peacemaker comboed with the ultimate from Caitlyn to take out Rise at Dusk as well.
We have Pickle actually trapping Latin Buddha under the turret with the snare. He's going to have to flash out. Thank God Latin's got a little bit of tank on him. Oh, and then Worthy Dust actually walking in. He's angry about last time. We'll see if he can land this Q.
So
just
close.
Barely misses. Just barely misses.
Yeah, Flash Heal still available for Jay Herbo, so don't think he was going to be getting caught up by that one. Would have maybe had to burn one of those summoners had that hook landed, but fortunately for him, able to walk out, not having to use anything. And they're starting to snowball in this bot lane, but it's still relatively close. The farm is pretty even. If we take a look at the gold lead here, it's about 1,000 lead for the 80 carry of Bramble back in Jay Herbo, who's been dominant in almost all the laning phases he's played in the Rec League so far this season.
Yeah, he's looking really, really good. He has the IE already, and he's doing all this with a coal that's stacking. So that's basically another free kill and a half once that's done. He just needs 9 more CS. We have Air here going to respond right away. Going to try and take the Infernal Drake. We're going to see if they can respond. Pickle Pocket is going to snare up 2 of them. Layered by the Latin Buddha is going to jump onto Hayam Hippie, absolutely destroy him. We have Quicksilver Sasha laying the fear on Thresh. Nolar TPing in because his ult was down to try and finish up. And what a turnaround by Brambleback.
Yeah, they turned that around. Maybe a greedy dragon take from Air Drake going for that fight, and they just didn't have the tools to be able to finish that and turn for a fight. Unfortunately, the turn was a little slow, and they give away 3 kills for it, and probably the bot lane tower as well.
Yeah, and I know I said before that Ornn doesn't want to ever leave if your top laner roams, but Taco's TP was up. I think that's probably one of the times you have to TP in and support your team. That Ornn Horn may have been the thing they needed to turn the fight.
We'll see if Latin Buddha gets greedy here after they take this tower. Rise of Dusk is staying up a little bit.
Rise of Dusk gets snared, but it was a bait
rest of the team's here.
Oh, yeah, we have the Ornn Horn coming in now. That's what he was saying TP for. The current is going to open up. We see Jury Herbo actually flashing in. He's going to try and kill him, but he's going to get flayed back by the Horn. Oh, Quicksilver Sasha slays Colonel Paco, and then there's turnaround. There's a lot of tank, though, that you got to get through. Latin Buddha's going to go ahead and drop. We have Quicksilver
Everybody's
Sasha
here.
getting a little low, but Pickle Poppers comes in. He's going to try and end it up. Nope, Hippie's going to go ahead and secure the kill. We have the flash forward flail by Worthy Dust. He's not messing around. Pickle's going to get the little chip down. Nice stun. He's going to turn around. Nice kill by Pickle Popper. Flash out. Does he escape? Does Hayam Hippie let him get away with this? He does. What a play by Pickle Popper. And he flashes the Mastery 7.
What a play by Pickle Popper indeed. Thought he was for sure going to end up falling there, but unfortunately CLG Worthy Dust's hook just went a little to the left and didn't quite connect. If that would have landed, might have been a dead A-Soul, but Shen didn't even have to use his ultimate in that fight. He's just been pushing this top lane tower.
Insane. What a smack. These teams are putting it all on the line here. This has been such a high-intensity game. A lot of team fights, too. We're not even past 15 minutes.
We're not even past 15 minutes, and this is a pretty prototypical Rec League game here with the amount of fighting that's going on. 20 kills here before the 20-minute mark, before even the 15-minute mark, and these teams came to fight today, and Brambleback, unfortunately for the side of Airdrake, has been getting the better of these fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's been so close. A lot of these fights seem to start going Air's way, but then you just see the huge roam potential from Aurelion Soul, from Quicksilver Sasha on the Nocturne coming in to change the fight. I mean, they just have such a global presence. It's hard to win these side lane fights.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough, and Air's going to have to, slow it down a little bit here and rely on their superior ability to kite back in a lot of these fights, as the blue buff will be secured by Paco there. Sasha not quite able to take that one, and Jay Herbo going to try to pressure the tower here in the mid lane with Pickle Popper. Still a lot of health in that one. Victor's there now.
Yeah, Jay Herbo's starting to look pretty scary. He's got boots, IE, and I'm sure his second Zeo item's looking to be finished quickly.
Yeah,
a lot of gold on this Caitlyn right now.
Big Caitlyn, about a 2k gold lead just on Jay Herbo in the bot lane. Significant chunk of their gold lead is exclusively on him.
Oh yeah, we have Lamboon actually going down with the ult, getting caught out a little bit. Nothing's going to actually turn from it though. Nolark is still in the top lane, but he has that ult available. Oh, Lamboon!
Don't think he wanted that one.
Big. No, he died. Oh, actually, maybe he did, because Quicksilver Sasha's going to ult in. We have Orange just getting bullied. Why you bullying me up there? Stop, leave me alone. And he's going to go ahead and drop after that massive kill. We have Kerning Call coming down. I don't know if he's going to be able to secure anything. The body block is real. Latin Buddha's going to walk out with a sliver of health.
Yeah, and they're going to turn that one straight onto the Herald, so nice play.
Hook by Worthy Dust. He snares him under turret. It's so low, but no, it's not enough.
Oh, and that's so frustrating for Airdrake. They've just been so close with so many of these kills and picks, but not quite able to convert the damage to able to finish the kill. And Brambleback making it out with a sliver of HP multiple times in a row now is extremely frustrating for the side of Airdrake, because they need these picks to go through to be able to start getting back in this game, and they have the right idea, but the damage just isn't there yet.
I mean, I'll be honest, if I was on Airdrake and I saw Leo, or whatever ability that is, stun over the wall, taking turret shots, I'm going all in. I think that that looks like the wrong play there. But, we're not on the comms, and Brambleback is very good with these team fights. They're probably saying, Sasha's saying, hey, I have ult. She's been looking stronger in this game as it's been going on longer. She says, hey, if you can get that, we can support you.
Yeah, and the Shen ultimate coming through too on top of Sasha during that time, was a little bit of a bait, and you got to be careful for that kind of play when you're playing against this double global composition. There's always going to be somebody else that's going to be there, and Airdrake has to respect that.
Yeah, they have to try and start forcing 5v5 fights like we were saying, because these picks are what Bramble wants. And as these fights go on, we're starting to see a 5k gold difference in favor of Bramble.
Yeah, it's just growing, slowly snowballing, as Bramble usually does. Binding just barely going to go wide there, and Paco might get punished for it here.
Yeah, smart flash out. We have the ult going down. Oh, Quicksilver Sasha's going to get a little bit in deep, but again survives with a sliver of health. They just need a little bit more damage. Oh, Worthy Dust gets so low, getting pushed back by Aurelion. So, Hi, Hippie's been here the whole time, though. Gonna go ahead and stun up Jay Herbo.
Such a good play.
Nice, and I believe that's going to be a shutdown going over to a Victor, which is a great place to see the gold.
Yeah, that's huge. Jay Herbo being so greedy with his positioning there. Is the Caitlyn trying to get a flank off in the enemy side jungle, which isn't what you want to do as a Caitlyn. Even if your flash and heal is available, you're going to fall for that one 9 times out of 10. So Airdrake doing a phenomenal job to punish that, and some shutdown gold right where you needed it.
Yeah. I mean, Haim Hippie has completed his X-Core item now. Now he can actually start building items. You're going to see this Victor getting a lot scarier. All his abilities have been upgraded. Oh, stun just barely missed by Pickle Popper. So I'm excited to see now what Haim Hippie's going to bring to the table.
Yeah, definitely going to be a main focal point here as a carry for his team. And we talked about the Jhin needing to be kind of ahead, have some kills under his belt. He's sitting on 2-3-2 right now, not too shabby. Obviously, the side of Jay Herbo and Latin Buddha much stronger, but the Jhin is not behind enough to the point where he's going to be irrelevant in this game. So he's just going to have to get a few more kills, get some of his items, maybe to get the 2-3 item spike, and he'll be able to really start pumping out the damage. If Nocturne can't get on top of him, it's going to be hard for Bramble to actually kill this Jhin. And if he's putting out the DPS properly, the fights might start to swing in their favor despite the gold lead.
Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing when you typically try and compare the laners. It's just J Herbo is doing excellent. Rise at Dusk is doing good. He's doing good. But J Herbo's doing excellent, so you might kind of forget about the Jhin in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully
Snare we have the snare, and then we have the Laird CC here. Colonel Paco's going to try and lock down J Herbo, stepping a little forward. Oh, he gets the kill. Colonel Paco slays J Herbo, but here comes those globals. Everyone's flying in. Pickle Paco coming over from my grandma's house to put the world's biggest stun I've ever seen down on the team, and a double kill goes over to Quicksilver Sasha. You can't go for these pick plays.
No.
There's too many globals. Taunted under tower. Holy cow.
Yeah, what looked like a good pick just gets immediately answered by these global ultimates from Brambleback, and that's what we talked about, is that you have to respect the potential of them to just have 5 people in your face instantaneously what you think you have a good play, and now the rest of the team shows up and you get almost aced with Dainty Taco left alone pushing that top lane out. It's getting worse and worse here for Airdrake, now at a 7k deficit, 9-19 in the kills, and Brambleback's running away with this one now.
Yeah, Brambleback has been doing. It's almost like they're baiting these like pick plays, right? They're doing such a great job because that looks like a 4v2, but like we were saying, that is essentially a 4v5. If you don't have all 5 team members in the same spot, don't go for that flash shot. Just can't. And it's hard. It's so hard to have that restraint when you see a J Herbo just out in no man's land. You're like, what? Really? Are you sure we can't just kill him real quick? I think we can just kill him really, really quick and get away with this.
And they do kill him, but they trade, 4 kills for going for that one pick, and they're going to have to change the ideas up here if they want to try to get any more advantages in this game, because at this point, Brambleback's looking like they might be pretty hard to stop.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough here. Now we'll see. All is not lost yet. We do know Colonel Paco can be adaptable. He can identify what the issue is. I've played a lot of solo queue games with him before, but it's just knowing the problem and actually answering the problem are 2 different things.
Yeah, absolutely. And Darth Ted pointing out in the chat, Aaron needs to track the ults to know when they can and cannot go for picks, and that is 100% true. Might have to wait and scale up for some Ornn items here in the later parts of the game, which does give them a pretty good scaling composition here with that Ornn, but we touched on it in the champ select. Sometimes Bramble gets so far ahead where they don't care about your scaling. They just smack you with their wallets and looking to put themselves on Cloud's soul point here after taking this dragon. Fortunately for Airdrake, not one of the strongest souls you can get. Won't just end the game outright if Brambleback does take that soul after they take this dragon and the next one, but still going to be pretty frustrating to deal with someone like a Shen and a Nocturne who get all that movement speed.
We have the Ornn Horn going down as Lambuda thought he saw an opening. He's going to get pretty low. Railing Soul just spinning stars all around. Everyone's walking away with just a little bit of health. Paco's snare goes slightly wide. Quicksilver Sasha is going to go ahead and stopwatch, but fall anyway. Taco's a big, beefy boy, but is he beefy enough? No, he's not. J Herbo's going to go ahead and slay him. Nice stun by Pickle as he walks away. Flash forward by High on Hippie to get a double kill. This Victor's looking very large. Nolark is now in the wrong part of town.
It's the Jhin.
What he does is going to try and slay away. Oh, man, he gets the kill. And Jhin is starting to show up. The flash forward. That was so much damage with that 4th shot.
They didn't respect the Jhin endo, and that's something we talked about. Rise of Dusk was untouched in that fight. Sasha ulted to the other side of the fight, and Jhin opened up the curtain call looking like Huang Fang in the base of G2 here. Or whoever that was he played against, I forget.
Cow.
But yeah, so Jhin able to open up in that fight and take virtually no damage, and now able to pick up a dragon for themselves, and looking like they might be able to turn this game around.
Yeah, and you know what? Taco just hit 14. He just hit 14. The ornaments are coming into play. Wow, isn't looking really good, but just like you were saying, we know that J Herbo's been playing out of his mind. Rise of Dusk's been doing pretty good too, and he shows what can happen if he stays alive.
Yeah, Brambleback is going to have to adapt. They can't let another fight go that way and give Airdrake a window back into this game, because you have to get on top of that Jhin. You have the ability to do it with a point-and-click ultimate from the Nocturne. You got to make sure you're putting that one in the right place. You don't want that Jhin to be free-firing like in that last exchange, and he just absolutely popped off.
Yeah, and Cop pointed out something too that we didn't touch on. Jin with fourth shot, who's currently 4-4-4. I think he's unbeatable now.
Yeah, I'm not
He's
saying that
he's
it's a
listening to the
conspiracy,
lore.
but
He's listening to the lore, and he's playing to his champion's strengths here. So we got to be careful with that.
the virtuoso himself.
All right, so we did have a gold lead change a little bit here. We have Nolark engaging Taco in the bot. Big wet noodle fight. They're just going to be slapping each other. Nolark actually kind of putting the damage down on him.
Yeah, tickling Ornn a little bit. Not really under any kill threat is the Ornn, with Sasha being in the top side, though they didn't know that. That's something that maybe they can punish if Taco tries to position like that in the future. Have to respect the ability of Nocturne to just make that 1v1 a 2v1 really quick.
Now here's actually a question I want to ask. So Rise of Dusk, his Jin's looking very strong. You have the ornaments. He's really far away from IE. Do you wait for the IE to upgrade it?
I think you upgrade the Zani's Hourglass for the Morgana now, and then just by the time Jin gets IE, you have another level to upgrade him. I'd like to see Thresh go for something like a Locket or a Redemption here to give himself an ornament target. I think that's underutilized items on support, and I think Locket would go a long way in preventing a lot of this burst damage that Brambleback have to offer, and also is an upgradable Ornn item. So hopefully we see the side of Airdrake build towards some of those ornaments. Sometimes we see Ornn picked and teams not build ornaments at all, which is a super feels bad man. But Jin's build path, pretty standard into IE. We'll have to see if Thresh makes the adaptation to go for something that he can upgrade as well.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how a lot of teams don't actually rush ornaments, right? When you pick the Ornn for a reason, and then you just kind of don't utilize what is such a strong passive. Yep, we're gonna have a little posturing now. The Drakes are tied 1-1. I mean, if you're we actually have a little bit of invade. They're going to be looking to seal this blue here. It's a nice snare, nice hookup by Wordy Dust. There's a lot going on now. Stopwatches go around. Latin Buddha's going to have to flash out because it's too deep, but Colonel Paco's going to die to Nolark. We have the Ornn Horn coming in, going to knock up one of the members. Quicksilver Sasha still has his Guardian Angel. Latin Buddha's getting so low, and CLG Wordy Dust going to go ahead and secure the kill. The ult by Jay Herbo is going to shut him down. High and Hippie drops as well. And Rise at Dusk was just out of that fight. And they were able to win that, losing only Latin. And they're going to turn for the Baron.
That was disaster for Airdrake. It looked like Paco had an amazing position for his ultimate there. Did end up getting it off with the Zanyas as well. But Rise at Dusk wasn't close enough to put any DPS out during that exchange. And we saw Hippie try to do what he could. In that choke point with Victor, did a lot of damage. I believe burned Nolark and Sasha's flashes so they could get out of the Victor AoE, but they didn't have the follow-up damage, and the Jin just was not there. So that's the kind of fight that Bramble will gladly take any day of the week. If the AD carry isn't there for Airdrake, then their DPS options are just Victor. So Rise of Dusk has to keep that in mind, to be with his team, to fight with his team, or else they really don't have an agency to deal enough damage to kill someone like the Shen or the Leona.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. I think Colonel Paco perhaps maybe should have looked around, realized they didn't have the damage, and disengaged.
The classic Paco is just go in. If you see enemy, kill enemy is Colonel Paco's MO.
Hey man, I love that. I will never fault someone for going in and fighting, and that's probably why I will forever be in gold. But yeah, and you know, true that they shouldn't have fought, but if your whole team is out of position, then maybe you're the one out of position, right? That's kind of something I had to learn the hard way, which got me from silver to gold. But
there you go. We learn here. We take those.
Yeah. So perhaps they shouldn't have engaged, but perhaps Rise of Dusk should have been there for the fight.
Yeah, and look at Paco's health bar. That's one auto attack from Caitlyn. That's about 50% of Colonel Paco's health with that headshot.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure with the RFC, Caitlyn can start autoing you from her fountain, so that's kind of scary.
Yeah, fortunately for Airdrake, they took that last dragon, so this will not be soul point for Brambleback. They're going to need one more after they take this one for that Cloud Soul, but I almost think that at this point, Airdrake, knowing they have a pretty good scaling on their side, might just want to give that soul over and look to put the Elder on the map. That way, when you try to trade for the Baron, it becomes that much scarier for Brambleback to go for one of those uber objectives, knowing that Airdrake can just take the other one on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and Latin Boot actually puts up, and Quicksilver Sasha just goes right in. We're going to see if the snare does land. Paco flashes over the wall. Good idea. Will the body block land? Yes. Good job, Hippie, keeping your friend alive. We have a lot of posturing now in the center lane. Almost a great pick. I got to tell you, Latin just looks for these engages all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Ornhorn going in. We're going to get a knock up on the Shen. Oh, the hook at the last pixel goes in. Curtain Call nails down because guess what? Quicksilver Sasha's ult is down. She's going to be able to do a little bit of damage from the back. Worthy Dust getting pretty low. Dainty Taco dies to Quicksilver Sasha. Latin Boot is going to actually fall to Rise Under Dust. Worthy Dust ticking low, and survives.
Yeah, at the end of the day, a 1-for-1.
That's not bad if you're behind.
Not bad at all. With behind and the other DPS Baron buff, they burned a lot of their ultimates to get just one kill. They're pushing the bot lane tower in, but if you're Air Drake, you're happy with that hold, and that might be one of the last pushes that Bramble's going to be able to get off onto this inhibitor tower, but looks like they're going for this other one. Oh.
That engaged by Nolark, just knowing he has Quicksilver Sasha, whose ult is up again with 2 Cloud Drakes. So oppressive. Yeah, just goes ahead and deletes Rise at Dusk. Quicksilver Sasha now 7-4, looking pretty scary.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Crucially for Air, they were not able to take the inhibitor, had to back off of that one as Dainty Taco was spawning soon, but Rise at Dusk just stepping way too close to that tower, eating the taunt by Nallark and just falling almost immediately. So if you're that Jhin, you got to keep an eye on your positioning here because you're so important to your team's success.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that, I mean, at this point too, you got to just always assume the Nocturne's ult is always up. She's had so many cooldowns. I'm sure she's taking that that room that reduces the cooldown of your ultimate. And look, they just got that kill on Jhin. It's back up. Sasha is very scary right now.
Yeah, Sasha looking massive now, and plus the double Cloud Drakes helps you out with that ultimate cooldown as well, and that's going to be a Nocturne ult and a Shen ult that are available much sooner than most people are going to be used to, so they have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, Shen ult up again. Man, this combo is just so oppressive. Both Nocturne and Shen. It's hard to fight against that. Worthy Dust, are they going to learn their lesson, or are they going to go in? A little bit of a pick. We have Pickle Popper coming around the side.
Too deep.
A massive damage from that dragon. Oh, predicts the flash over the wall and lands his ult. What a play by Pickle. That's some high-level prediction right there.
Yeah, thought they had the pick, and again, just get punished for their hubris, going for these picks that they really have no business doing, and going to end up giving the inhibitor now. With those 2 deaths, they have to just give this.
Yeah. I mean, compare that fight to when it was a 5v5 on the turret, right? And they blew all the ultimates, they traded 1-for-1. You don't want these picks if you're Air Drake. Again, though, that is the hardest thing not to go for.
Yeah, because you feel like you're just slowly bleeding out the game then, right? But if you're Air Drake, you got to just stabilize here. You don't want to keep bleeding out kills because, you know, paradoxically, you'll just make yourself lose sooner.
Yeah, we have Pickle actually getting stunned up, but he's so thick right now that Rise of Dust can't do the damage he needs to. He is still shooting from the back end. We have a nice dive. Oh no, that's going to be 2 down, 3 down for Air Drake. We have a shutdown going over to Jhin, but now we only have Dainty Taco alive. This Ornn, he has no one to upgrade if he's the only dwarf still alive.
And that's a triple kill for the Caitlyn J Herbo. You got to think that's going to spell the end of the game. Just Taco left alive as Bramble put their eyes on the Nexus and winning game 1.
What a play by Bramble, who were down at the beginning, but able to do these large macro plays to secure the win.
Yeah, looking clean. I mean, there were moments of greatness there from Air Drake, but they just tried too hard to go for those picks when they were too behind to make them work. And, you know, time and again, they went for that, just slowly and slowly fell further and further behind, had some fights that looked pretty decent for them. But at the end of the day, Bramble back, able to pull the W out, honestly able to play just a little cleaner, a little more to what they wanted to do in their composition, and they took the W in, honestly, mostly a dominating fashion.
Absolutely.
All right, well, with that, I'm going to make the next lobby. We'll send it to a quick break here for you guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Air versus Bramble. Game number 2, swapping sides. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys, welcome back. Still me, still Endo here for game number 2, Airdrake versus Brambleback. Brambleback coming out with a dominant performance in game 1. What looked like Airdrake might have had an opportunity or two to claw back in. Just the overextension of their composition, not quite able to pull the trigger where they needed to, and Brambleback hard punishing with those globals, Endo. I don't know what you thought about that game, but it looked like there might have been a chance for Air, but they kind of just squandered it in the mid game.
I have 2 words about that game. Ban Shen.
Man,
That's
Shen.
about it. That's about it. Because I mean, in the early game laning, I mean, Air was looking pretty strong. But once Bramble, who explains why they're ranked in everyone's power rankings first, right?
Yeah.
They're such an incredible team that plays like a team, and that's what's going to get you the furthest here in Rec League.
Absolutely.
And once they were able to hit those power like those levels that lets them play like a team, they took the game over.
They absolutely did. And for me, for the side of Airdrake, a pivot I'd like to see is Paco on a jungler that has a little more agency in the early game. We talked about the Morgana pick and how there's some better AP jungle options. But you don't even have to go an AP jungler if you're Paco, right? We know he can play a lot of other champions. He has the Echo in his back pocket too, which could have been another pick he could have chosen there to maybe punish Pickle Popper on that Aurelion Soul a little harder in the early game. But the Morgana just not quite able to get in there in the same fashion that a lot of other champions are. And I think if you have a champion like Nocturne on the other side of the map, you got to punish a little harder early. But we are getting into the champ select here. Let's see what adaptations these teams make.
Yeah, and actually, since you bring up the Echo, I think Echo would be fantastic on Colonel Paco. The same reason it's fantastic on me. We overcommit all the time, and you get a button that goes, "Oops, never mind." That's his ultimate, right? So I think I would love to see him on a champion like that. I call it the "oh shit" button.
Yeah, absolutely agree. A lot of those times where we saw Paco getting called out of position, if you have that oh shit button with your R for Echo, you just get right the fuck back out of there and you're absolutely fine. So we'll see if they make that kind of adaptation or they go another route with the jungle, maybe go for a tanky, supportive style and really let Hippie and Rise at Dusk carry this game and have some peel for them in these team fights because we saw them getting deleted almost immediately with just a millimeter out of position. And it looks like a lot of these bans are pretty similar here from both sides. I don't know if the Vigar was banned last game.
It was actually. I do like this by Bramble. I totally agree with this. If you won last game, no reason to change your bans. It worked, right? So you don't want to add any randomness into game 2.
Yeah.
I know I fought with my team sometimes on comms over it when they're talking about like changing things up, and I'm like, no, we won. Don't do anything, please, God. And then here's the adaptation: the Nocturne ban, leaving up to Shen. They're more scared of the Nocturne. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the Nocturne ban is good. The Shen definitely had a lot of impact in that game, but the Nocturne really gave the Shen the ability to get into those fights and do damage to the backline. So I appreciate the ban, but you'd have to think that the Jarvan will just be taken by Sasha here unless Airdrake decide to take that for themselves, which would be a nice like kind of fourth ban pseudo for Airdrake to take that one away from Sasha. Maybe they're just not worried about the Jarvan, but that is her most played jungler and something that we've seen her have a lot of success on. So I think it's a crucial decision here for Airdrake to make if they want to take that away or give it and try to answer with something cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the craziest thing with Sasha, the way she plays Jarvan, because Jarvan's not in the best spot right now.
Yeah, Jarvan's actually kind of bad right now.
Yeah, but she plays Jarvan like it's like season 5 or 6 or something. Like she just dominates on that champion, who's really bad. And we have we have a little tank coming out here. Surprisingly, I like the Ornn pick here from Taco as they drop everything. I'm surprised that they decided to instead go with Maokai, and a nice adaptation taking Leo away from Vlad and Buddha, who's doing some real work with that engaged champion.
Yeah, that Leona looks sick in the hands of Vlad and Buddha, and we've seen CLG Worthy Dust play this champion before, has looked really good on it in the past, and the Vayne taken for Jay Herbo sees 2 tanks in the other team, insta-locks Vayne, gotta love that energy.
Absolutely. All right, and then the Olaf for Colonel Paco. Wow, that's great aggression. That is a champion that wants to be in your face. If there is a champion that was not Poppy that would describe Paco to me, that'd be Olaf.
It'd be Olaf for sure. Kind of has that oh shit button as well, like Echo does with the R, able to ignore all crowd control. And like we talked about, will have a more significant impact in this early game So I like to see Paco picking something like this, where you already have great gank setup from your lanes with the Maokai in the top lane and Leona in the bot lane. That lets Olaf just come in and land those axes and be super oppressive in the early game because he does so much damage early on and has really healthy and fast clear speed, can really snowball that pick in the jungle if played correctly. And Paco's the kind of player that can pull it off.
Yeah. And we actually see that Air kind of got away with murder there. They did not pick up the J4, so they're able to ban it the second round. But that does mean J Herbal gets Vayne. And
J Herba gets Vayne.
J Herbal gets Vayne.
Do we
We'll
think
see
it's
what
just going to be
happens with that.
Morgana jungle for the side of Quicksilver Sasha? I think she was the first one to pull that out in the Rec League. And I would really hate to see it because I don't think that champion's good in the jungle. I don't know. Sasha likes playing these champions like J4 and Morgana that aren't supposed to be good in the jungle, but she somehow still makes them look good. So, hey, it could be the pick. Also, a pretty strong lane with the Vayne against Leona. Keeps her kind of safe from that hard engage, but the
I
bot
think
lane,
it's going to be a support Morgana actually
I would
because
hope
it
so.
was picked up immediately after seeing Leo.
Hmm.
And I remember she was saying recently, why play Morgana jungle? Just play Karthus instead.
Yeah, or Lilia,
Really?
anybody.
Yeah. Anyone? Literally anyone? Oh, and it's the Kane.
Ooh. Personal giant fan of that champion. Again, not very strong right now in this meta, but Sasha is known to pull out these picks that are a little offbeat and just make them work. So I like to see
Yeah.
that adaptation coming out. They are going for just a full hard scaling team comp here. They're basically all just trying to farm and leave us alone. But when you got a Viking charging at you with a full beard and two axes, he's not going to want to leave you alone. So Paco really has an impetus in this game to try to make an impact early because that is a full late game commitment from Brambleback.
Wow. I'm really interested to see how this plays out with Bramble because actually Air showed really strong early game. Um, but Bramble is great at this. They're great at scaling. Wait.
I love
a
that. Tristana mid.
second.
Tristana mid to punish the Cassidon. That is a heads up giant galaxy brain play from a Hayam Hippie. Makes their damage profile all AD unless he goes for the AP Tristana build, which isn't very popular anymore, but that is some early game aggression from Air, and I love to see it.
It's a great call because yeah, if they get tank, they win. But if they get to late game to get the tank, they win anyway. So you got to get an early lead to beat them, right? So like put all your eggs in that basket. Screw it. It's game 2. Try and win it in 15 minutes.
I like it, and we see some stats here coming out from Darth Ted in the Twitch chat. Last time Pickle Popper played Cassidon mid into Trist mid, he went 0-9 in like 20 minutes. So Brian the Broken, hoping Bramble does not get away with the dumb draft like this. Strong words from the man himself, the founding father, the admin in all his glory, giving Air Drake his energy, I guess. Wants to see them really punish Brambleback's hubris, picking this only late game scaling composition with a jungler that cannot provide assistance to get that Cassidon to level 6. It's going to be pretty scary for Pickle Popper in this mid lane.
That's so great. I love this. This is the spice I'm looking for in the rec league, man. This is I hate these like safe, boring, smart all right, you win, big whoop. No. I want to see Tristana mid against Cassidon, all ID. We have 5 minutes to win. Let's make sure it counts.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. So they really are going to rely on the snowball here. Picked a composition, perfectly enables them to do so. They have to execute though. We've seen Brambleback pick themselves compositions like this, and the onus is on the enemy team then to capitalize on their advantageous windows, which will be the majority of the early game here for Air Drake. And if Air Drake can't capitalize, Brambleback's late game is inevitable here, much like people talked about, the old Infernal squad with Shu just reigning in the late game, that grindy style that Gromp kind of has right now as well, where, you get scrappy with them, but you just got to have that constant thought in the back of your mind that it gets to the late game, it's going to be very hard to win, and that's going to be how Air Drake's probably feeling in this one. A lot of this game does fall on the back of the Viking. We'll see what Skinny pulls out. I'm a personal fan of the Broloff, want some craggy ice in there, so I think that might be a pretty big determining factor of the impact he can have of his skin choice.
Now hear me out. I know it's not Dainty Taco style, but full AP Maokai is actually kind of busted right now.
Yeah, it slaps. You have a point and click ability that has a really high AP ratio, and if you get something like Leandry's, almost all your abilities apply a CC, so you're constantly getting that Leandry's passive going off, and It also gives you tanky stats. You can even just go Sunfire Leandries, right? And just be doing a lot of passive damage in these fights. So that would be an interesting
And
adaptation from Taco.
and God forbid you walk in a brush with a couple saplings because
Oh,
you get
deleted.
deleted.
Absolutely deleted. Yeah, those
Deleted.
saplings absolutely slap. Provide already apply a dot themselves, and then on top of Leandry's tick. So it would be
I
cool
know
to see him
Taco
do
likes
it.
his tanky boys, but could we see the full spice of life here? What do you think?
I want to see it. I am definitely putting my money into him not doing it, but it would be really cool to see that kind of adaptation come out from Dainty Taco here in the top lane. And really, I'm just going to be looking at this mid lane pretty heavily with that Kassadin, blind pick. Little greedy.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Yeah, love to see it. I mean, Cassidy's a super scary champion. When we versed Ocean, we went against Jamu, who's Cassidy is really good as well. We were up by like 9 kills and like 8K gold within 15 minutes, and we're screaming at each other, "We have to win now! We have to win now! The other team has a Cassidy. Oh God, I'm so scared."
That's exactly how it feels too with that pick. It's just the inevitability of that late game, but yeah, they have to get there. And typically, when you play Kassadin, you pick a jungler with some early aggression, some early prio that can kind of be a vehicle to get Kassadin to that level 6 and then onward. But the Kayn, more of a farming jungler, and we do see the Broloff coming out here as the skin.
Love the
So
Burloff skin.
big advantage already built up for Colonel Paco in the jungle. We'll see if he can utilize that one to its full extent. But yeah, we probably going to see a pretty farm heavy focus from Brambleback. Maybe not going for as many fights as they typically do in the early game, but you never know. They're always full of surprises. They pick a late game comp and fight you early and win anyway. So that's kind of how they play their game and might catch Airdrake off guard, but Air definitely have the tools this time around to make it a little closer.
I do actually have to give the skin advantage to Bramble though, because they all have a purple theme with their skin. So once again, Bramble playing like a team, really have that synergy up to snuff. Um,
Oh,
and
and a
we have a
pause.
pause coming off right now.
Well,
Jay Herbal just stepped out for a minute. Probably a DC there.
most
But that's
likely. I'm
good
at
because we
12 seconds game time right now. How about you?
Exactamundo.
Perfect.
Talk about synergy. We got Bramble
Synergy.
synergy. We got Caster synergy. We're just looking good all around.
Just a bunch of good looking guys out here as we wait for the pause to tick down. How do you think this level one's going to go? We see a Pain already went down onto the mini map for Air Drake, looking like they might want to look for an early invade with this Olaf, CC combo from Dainty Taco, from Worthy Dust. We'll see if they get anything spicy going here level one, but you have to think that Brambleback is probably not going to want to mess with that too much.
Yeah, yeah. I think there is because you do have that early game advantage, but there's always that fear of like you can very easily throw that early game advantage with a bad invade, and it's like, all right, well, we gave Cassidy 2 kills.
Yeah.
Well, there goes that lane. Okay,
Yeah, that's not what you want to see if you're Air Drake. Don't want to see Cassidy get any kills, but
ever,
no, ever, never, not even one
ever.
kill.
But yeah, I would love to see the aggression. They did actually all invade us 5 in game 1 too. Air Drake's like really trying to fight for some recognition here in the rec league. They had a rough start in the season, but a lot of swapping around. I'm actually liking them a lot more.
Yeah,
Let's hear it in the chat too. I want to see. We've seen some airs. Do you know how to do the vote thing?
I do. I can turn the vote on. Let me get that enabled
Yeah,
real
let's
quick.
get some votes in chat during this pause. Update. Dark Ted's coming us with the update. Semifinals game 5, season 6. Air versus Bramble is sickly. Tristana went 9-1 in 18 minutes. Pickle went 2-5. Dark Tide, is that the game that I subbed in for, where I was playing a Mumu? So I remember that. I think I remember that game. That was a rough game. We ended up pulling out the win ahead. I'm glad I didn't sub in just to feed my butt off or pick some troll pick like Brand Jungle or something. Who would ever do that? Who would sub for a team and pick Brand Jungle? Apologies for that again. I thought it was the big brain play. It just definitely wasn't. I was just ahead of my time, dude. I'm telling you now, Brand Jungle's a thing. I saw the potential, Riot agreed, and they gave him the buffs. We have a poll resulting in a tie between Mountain and Scuttle. That's cool. We're going to get this set up, and I'd love to hear chat's reactions here. Is it the early game comp, or is it the late game monster?
All right, let's get that poll going here. Have the
That's
poll
right.
open in the chat. So if you'd like to vote, you type !vote air or !vote Bramble, and we'll see these votes coming through. Who the chat thinks is going to take it as we count down the pause here. Get your votes in. See who you believe in. See who you're sending your energy to. Airdrake needs your energy here if they want to take out a W here against the #1 seed in the Rec League. And Brambleback looking to close out a dominant performance with yet another 2-0 week.
Bramble is definitely loving armor for this comp. Cop calls it. He did some 5-head analysis there. He's seeing a bunch of AD, but don't count out the full AP Maokai cop. I'm telling you, it's busted. And we know Taco. Taco is one of the most aggressive, most kill-hungry top laners I have ever seen in the Rec League. Now, if you take what I said and do the exact opposite, you'll actually get the true analysis.
Yeah, as we see the pause end here, we'll see if they opt for anything in the early game. It looks like that Pain did go down into the blue team's red side jungle, but now the Pains are going to fan out, opt to not go for that one, and both teams probably going to end up fanning out here. Won't see any level 1 shenanigans in this one, Endo.
Unfortunate. I mean, it's smart, but smart's unfortunate in my book. I like to see Clown Fiestas for sure. We have some dancing going on in the mid lane with a little Pengu heart there. Lots of love in the Rec League. You know, we compete on the main stage, but there's nothing but love between competitors in this league. That's why I love it.
Oh yeah, a bunch of friendly guys. You know, if you can get a dance off there in the mid lane, even in a pretty competitive series like this one, you know, it just goes to show you what kind of community we have here, where people are just all friendly to each other and can do some little cheeky emote spam back and forth there, and just let everybody know that while we're here to compete and we want to win, we're all here to get along as well.
Yeah. And do me a favor, next week when we verse you, after you kill me multiple times in top lane, if you can just do a little dance on my dead body, I'd appreciate that.
That is, yeah, already part of the plan. We're in there.
Really, I want you guys to be the first team to break Scuttle's mental. It hasn't happened yet. I don't know if it can happen, but I want to see Bramble drag.
I think Zeem is unbreakable.
Dude, that guy is just a stone wall. I love it. Nothing happens. All right. We have the Kane starting Raptors, which as a jungle aficionado, I hope you agree, is pretty standard for Kane.
Pretty standard for the Kane.
And already Hippie putting on the bomb on Pickle. Is he going to get the 4th blast? Oh my God. Pickle's already down to a quarter health. That's why you don't blind pick Kassadin, ladies and gentlemen.
No, we saw some interesting pathing from the Olaf. Actually looked like he walked bot. Maybe he was trying to get an early play out, but didn't end up going for that. Just turned back around to his Wolves. Going to be a little behind on the clear now as Sasha's already on her 3rd camp. Olaf just starting his 2nd camp, but has a pretty healthy fast clear himself. Should be able to make it to his red side and catch back up.
Now, it's been a minute for me for being in the jungle, but does buff Wolves buff give you 3?
Buff Wolves buff does give you level 3, same as buff Wolves Grump. I think the only camp you can't take and then get level 3 after it is the Raptor camp, on your 3rd camp after Raptors.
All right, good to know. Taco actually setting up a nice freeze in the top lane here, playing pretty safe. He's actually stepped up a lot since this game. I wonder if he's gotten some coaching, or he's really trying to show up, say this is why I belong in top lane.
Oh, it looks like Buff Wolf buff does not give you level 3, as I am a giant scrub.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, but again, it's been a hot minute since I've been in there.
Yeah, me too.
New York is pushed up here. I'd love to see a response by Colonel Paco. He's actually going to go into the enemy jungle here, but action down here in the bot lane as well as a snare. Quicksilver Sasha is able to secure the smite.
Can't fight Olaf level 1, level 3.
Oh, no
Cannot
one can fight
Olaf.
level 1. He has the axe up.
That's Sasha's.
Big flash, nice stun by the
Hippie.
Shen, but it's not enough. We have 3 men on top of this Shen right here. Nolark's going to drop down.
Oh.
And then that's the blood going on the right hands.
And that's double buffs for the Tristana in the mid lane now against this Kassadin is going to be so hard for Pickle Popper to deal with. You have to expect the second she starts trading again, he's going to burn that flash.
Oh, it immediately just puts the bomb on Paco, on Pickle. Man, I do that so much. It is so embarrassing. Even when I'm hanging out with them in real life, Pickle and Paco, I switch it so much. I apologize. But
Yeah,
yeah, like you're
that's a pretty
saying,
easy one to switch.
that's an already oppressive lane, and now Hippie has double buffs.
Yeah, that is exactly how you needed this early game to go if you are an Air Drake fan. The kill on the Tristana, the kill on the Olaf, and just a little hubris, honestly, out of Sasha trying to fight Olaf early game. You do not take those. You will never ever win that fight against Olaf in the early game, especially when he has the Conqueror. He just and his innate sustain with his passive. There's just so much more damage and healing on the Olaf in this early game. It's very hard to take those trades, and they paid for it.
Yeah, it's going well for Air. They started out correctly. But again, last game we did see them have a great early start, and Bramble was able just to hold out and play their game. So save. Oh, DD Taco has a 2-level
Yeah,
lead
I was
on
gonna point
Nolark
that
right
out.
now.
Look at that level lead. That's
What?
massive. I think because he was around for those kills, so got some XP from those as well. And
Sure.
honestly, Brambleback picked themselves into counters for most of these lanes. I believe the Vayne was picked after the Caitlyn, and the Kassadin was picked blind, so it was able to be countered there. So Bramble really relying on their just mechanical superiority here, but with the way Airdrake's been playing this early game, I'm not sure that's going to be the best choice, but Airdrake's going to have to pull the trigger, and they do start this dragon early, so already getting that early snowball going for themselves.
Yeah, I love it. 4-man stack on that dragon. You're not contesting that, especially if you're trying to scale to a 40-minute game. You don't want any of that. Nice attempted steal there by Aladdin Blue.
It was close.
Buddha. Yeah, just barely not enough. Yeah, actually, Nolark is doing. Oh, the hop in by Hippie. He's like, don't you dare get near those minions. All right.
Yeah, we see a pretty
Nolark's actually
significant
doing
XP
a pretty
lead.
good job top lane with the CS.
Yeah, he's doing a fair job with the CS. Taco will be level 6 sooner. It's a nice little combo there with the smash into the sampling. Does hit 6 now. Shen is pretty close himself, about a third of the way through level 5, but Dainty Taco with a pretty big advantage for himself as far as XP goes in the top lane. And we see the mid lane is Kassadin level 6 now, but Tristana should be able to get some turret plates.
Yeah, this is
One more auto on the tower. Okay, she got it.
much he gets chopped down. That is, he went double armor when he backed, which is the right call there. Just barely trying to survive. Paco in the Raptors. We'll see if Quicksilver Sasha's going to see if he's able to answer. Actually goes into him and he's going to fade away.
Tristana.
Kai Hippie just jumps in and Pickle smartly flashes right out of there. You don't want any of that.
No, you do not. And I think, honestly, if I was Air Drake, I would have pushed that straight into the enemy red buff. You know that's spawning soon because that's typically the side of the map Kayn does start on. But they opt to just go back and take some CS. Gonna let Sasha be safe for now. But that flash being down on Pickle Popper is going to be pretty scary for the next time Hippie decides to go in. And he has exhaust, so it just makes that stick potential even larger.
I didn't even see the exhaust on Tristana. Yeah, I mean, Kassadin does get a flash essentially from his ult every 5 seconds, but Tristana's burst is so great. You gotta play scared. A lot of plates going down. A little bit of slapping in the top lane that we see here. Two beefy boys though. I don't know if too much is gonna happen from that. Pickle just goes right in. But once that bomb blows, you're gonna see actually Hippie
So
wins
much
the trade.
damage.
Holy cow.
Hippie has to be a little careful now, though. He's pretty low. Does have the exhaust available. Pickle could have some kill potential as we see the plates in bot lane going over to the side of Air Drake. Already have taken 2 for themselves and looking pretty huge.
Oh.
I thought we
Yeah.
were going to just see him jump in there and go for the execute with the ultimate with the exhaust, but opted not to. Didn't know where the jungler was for Brambleback.
Pickle Popper
Goes
is
back in
actually-
now.
Woo! He
Doesn't-
got so low. I think, Hippie's probably sitting on a lot of gold right now. He's got to go back. Man, all he has is a Seeker's Arm Guard. He started to trade.
Yeah, he had 30 HP, so the Corrupting Pot tick not quite able to take him back down, but you got to still be happy with the way this early game's going if you're Air Drake. Have a 2k lead, your lanes are relatively even, if not winning, in the mid lane in CS, and top lane's falling a little bit behind, but Maokai's still going to be Maokai in these team fights. You don't really need him to be massively ahead in CS. You need him to be a CC bot, and that's what he's going to be regardless. So A good
Paco,
performance out
though,
of Air
maybe
Drake.
a little bit out of position here. He's going to go unstoppable. He's going to try. No, he's going to actually flash away and run away. He wasn't able to pick up
Yeah, he's gonna fall
the
here.
axe, and you just can't be that deep if Haim Hippie isn't there in lane.
No, didn't have the mid prio at all. Kassadin, can get there a lot faster with that Rift Walk, and Kane with the ultimate able to take the kill there onto Paco, and a little too ham by Paco, honestly, but not the end of the world for Air Drake's early game. Will put them a little bit less far ahead than they were. Chunk that gold lead down by 1,000, so only a 1,000 gold lead for themselves. And thankfully for Air Drake, the kill does not go over to the Kassadin, but Kane in the mid lane
We have
now.
Quicksilver Sasha actually coming in to try and scare Haim Hippie a little bit, but not able to do much. Just getting stacks for his transformation. Sorry to cut you off there. What were you saying?
No, you're fine. Air Drake's early game still going pretty well for them, but that kind of inevitability of the late game we talked about for Brambleback is you want to see Air Drake put a little bit more pressure on here. They have a lot of plate gold actually secured for themselves. Hippie takes a tower shot. I think that actually might mean that he has to leave this lane. Olaf might be coming shadow.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that means. That was a good trade until that turret shot landed. I mean, Pickle Popper, level 8 now. He has the Rift Walk combo that he can just burst out Tristana. Like, yeah, Tristana's super impressive in lane, but it's still a very low health ADC.
Yeah, Narlock's just been looking so scary on the Shen, just slapping Dainty Taco around. Has a level lead in the top lane, about a 30 CS lead too for himself, and just constantly out-trading the Maokai. I mean, fortunately for Dainty Taco, he's not super worried about, getting killed in this lane. Shen doesn't have a lot of kill pressure on him, can kill him, but binding lands in bot.
Yeah, nice snare down. We actually have Pickle Popper looking perhaps for a roam. Nolark's ult is live now, so any engage can quickly turn over for Brambleback, and that clock's ticking. This has been a very low kill game for such an aggressive comp pick from Air.
Yeah, but they take the dragon. They stacked up 2 of them for themselves now, and
True.
That's the kind of early game, objectives you want to see from a team that has an early game focused team. Unfortunately for them, do not get the Mountain Soul. We'll be getting the Cloud Soul.
We have the ult going down. Worthiness is looking for an engage onto Vayne. J Herbo's going to start walking away. Gets chipped down. Latin Buddha get the block. He does. A heal coming off as well from J Herbo.
That was a nice little combo.
Worthy does looking just like Latin Buddha, huh? These are 2 supports who love their engage. Oh, and Colonel Paco's actually going in. Latin Buddha's going to go ahead and try and survive. Barely flashes out, but go ahead and drops the Paco. We have Pickle Popper going ahead and teleport down and just chunking down Colonel Paco. I think Nolark actually tried to ult in there too, but Taco was able to disrupt the ult himself.
Yeah, nice interrupt by Taco. Looks like Taco might have actually tried the channel's TP there. I'm not sure how long that one's been on cooldown. It might have been interrupted by the Shen, but they get the tower in the mid lane now, and that's a massive early game gold lead being built up for Air Drake. About 2K right now at 12 minutes, almost 3K.
Yeah, I think he had interrupted Shen's ult and tried to TP down himself, and Nolark then returned the favor and taunted him to prevent the TP from happening.
The game of interrupts. You love to see this heads-up plays come out of the top laners. Is heads-up play from Sasha, dropping that Herald to try to get some plate gold back onto her team, as they have not been able to pick up any yet this game, and should be the pickup.
Oh, Tristana jumps in and just disappears. Sasha, where did she go? She absolutely got annihilated. Nolark then is going to drop a double kill onto Tristana. However, J Herbo's going to go in and get
bot lane.
Nice job by the bot lane on Air. And then Lambu's going to have to walk away. No longer has an ADC. That's, what was that? 3 kills going over to Air Drake in 1 second?
That was 3 kills going to Air Drake in the span of about 10 seconds there. The greedy Herald drops to try to get some plates back, but you end up giving up so much more gold over to the enemy team, and this early game focused composition from Air Drake is paying dividends right now. If you're in the stock market and you invested in Air Drake, you're feeling pretty good about that one.
Yeah, and we didn't even touch on that first turret blood going over to Air Drake too. You have all these plates, first turret blood, 6-2 right now. It's 23 to 18 or 19 K difference. Is this a snowball? Is this snowball good enough?
This is a snowball, and we're taking a look at the gold graph here for the bot lane and the mid lane of Air Drake. Mid lane ahead about 3,000 gold on this Tristana and 30 CS. Bot lane, small CS lead, but also ahead about 1,000 gold. So this is exactly what you wanted to happen in this game. If you're the Caitlyn into the Vayne, you're the Tristana into the Kassadin, this is what you expect, and this is exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, we actually have, oh no, Pickle Popper may be in the wrong hood, homie. We have two people going down. Worthy Dust is going to actually not engage a flash ult by Pickle. Good response. Good response. You
Good
are
response.
not going to survive that.
Yeah, burn that flash, and now he might be a little vulnerable into this tower. Might just have to end up giving this one up, but looks like he might be trying to get a little bit aggro. Morgana here.
Oh, and then Paco's going to have to ult because that snare is going to last until next game. So they're able to blow that ult down. Nice response. We have Jay Herbal coming in. He does have board completed, which is a little bit of a power spike for Vayne here. Paco's
Yeah, so
trading back and forth.
AirDrake, seeing those 4 members go bot lane, I would have loved to see Tristana just get onto that mid lane inner tower and start doing some work onto that tower. There was 4 members showing bot lane. You knew the Shen was top lane with the ultimate and TP still not available, so could have got some chunk damage onto that. Guess wanted to go for the hyper safe route and not overextend, but it's a window where you can try to punish with someone like Tristana, who's so good at taking those towers early. Just get the chip damage in and make that a threat for later on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely agree with that. Keep pushing the lead. That's what it's all about right now. We do have a 4K gold lead, which is nice. That bot tower is so low. I can't believe it's
So
still up.
low.
It just needs like one auto, but they don't want to risk it. Some Noodle fighting in the top. And again, Olaf is in the bot lane. It looks like there's going to be some... trying to get some pressure down as the next dragon gets up. If AirDrake's able to secure this dragon, their namesake dragon, actually Paco has to flash out, getting so slowed by Pickle Popper. Worthy Dust going to go ahead and snare
ultimate.
up Jay Herbal.
He's dead.
Nice ult. Is he going to get it? Yes, he does drop. He's going to be slayed down. Pickle Popper is going to throw an axe. Nail Latin Buddha is going to have to pop ult to try and survive this. Nope, you can't survive against a big angry bearded
Sasha.
man. Meanwhile, the top lane was a nice trading kills. High and Hippie kills Quicksilver Sasha, but Nolark is able to secure the kill on High and Hippie. That can be Drake. Instead, no, they're going to keep pushing the initiative. Pickle Popper's dropping so low. I don't think you want to rift walk into that.
Wrong hood, homie. He went into that bot lane trying to get a kill under the tower, trying so hard to do something for his team in the bot lane, but he's against 3. He's only Kassadin. You can't do anything at this stage of the game with Kassadin in a 3v1, maybe at like the 40-minute mark, but such hubris coming out of the mid laner for Brambleback, and honestly on the top side of the map as well, going for these plays when you don't quite have your evolve on a champion like the Kayn, who does just get it now. But you can't go for those kind of fights on these champions at this stage, and Brambleback kind of trying to play like they typically do and, you know, fight a lot in the early game and snowball, but they didn't build themselves the composition to do it, Endo. They're not quite at that stage yet, and it's showing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's actually really funny seeing Brambleback act this way because they're usually pretty good at understanding what their comp is meant to do. Yeah, the ganking top while Dragon's about to show up. Pickle Popper rift walking into 3 people when you don't have an item completed yet. You know what? You may not need AP if you're 6K gold ahead at 16 minutes.
Yeah, it turns out Summoner's Rift Gold is actually a great substitute for damage profile diversity.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's going to be... Air's got 3 Drakes. By the way, is there a bug or something? Does every custom game have an out? We'll hold on to that. High and Hippie's going to go ahead and jump into Pickle Popper. Guess what?
Gets a kill.
He has his own Rift Walk that he can use if he hits that bomb correctly and gets the kill. Meanwhile, Jay Herbal's going to go in, just test the armor of that Maokai. Oh, he's going to actually walk away. I would love to see him Q Jay Herbal into the turret. Top lane, we have Quicksilver Sasha jumping onto Worthy Dust. Worthy Dust misses his ult, but he's going to be able to lock him down. A lot of autos coming in from Risk is Dust. Paco's coming in to return the favor, finish the kill. Latin Buddha, you're not allowed to ult to Olaf. Oh. He has ult of his own. High Hippie could go ahead and secure the kill. And Nolark, he's getting bullied. Leave him alone, man. His friends have left him.
Oh my god,
no
this is
chill
a
over
stomp.
on
AirDrake. AirDrake looking hot right now. They're coming in. They came to play today, Endo. They had that game 1 performance. They were not happy with the way they played in that game, and they're coming out in game 2 with a vengeance. An 8K gold lead at 18 minutes for AirDrake against the #1 seed. When you're one of the bottom-ranked teams in the Rec League and you can pull this kind of performance out against a team like Bramble, who's looked so consistently strong, granted there was a lot of assistance given to AirDrake rather, by the draft of Brambleback, which honestly, you know, we pointed out in the chat, a lot of people not happy with that one out of Bramble, but AirDrake doing, to their credit, doing everything right.
It is. Darth Ted said it best. Hubris. Hubris.
Absolutely, and It's going to be a tall order now for Brambleback to kind of claw their way back in this game. Fortunately for them, they do have a phenomenally strong scaling composition. So if they can end up delaying this game, and again, the Cloud Drake on the map is going to make that a little easier for Brambleback to delay the game. It's not those game-ending souls like Ocean or Infernal. So a little bit of RNG's on their side with that one, and I'm not sure if there is a bug because the last 2 matches we saw Scuttle Crab play was Cloud Drake's both ones, I believe.
Yeah.
And now we see Cloud Drake in
and the weekend
first
before
one.
that, I think it was all Cloud Drakes, and now this one's a Cloud Drake too. So
I wonder if there's a bug or if it's just some crazy bad RNG. We'll have to see in the next series how that looks.
I think it's the script. It's why Air Drake is winning against the top power ranked team.
Was it just foreshadowing? Right?
Just new.
The Cloud Drakes heralding the coming of the Air Drake to their victory against Brambleback. Just the red carpet, as it were.
Oh no, I just hate to see brother and brother action. Pickle Popper and Paco are such close friends in real life, but that all gets thrown away when they're going to be up 10k gold about in 20 minutes. Goes ahead and starts beating him up. Oh, Herbo and Rise at Dusk are going to have a little 1v1 in the mid lane. Duelist Vayne is so good in these situations. Going to get some gold back and the shutdown onto Vayne. That's huge. That's huge.
All 4 summoners blown between the 2 ED carries. It looked like a decently close fight as the ultimate goes down now.
Worthy Dusk, go ahead. Wow, great combo there. High and Hippie's going to try and walk him down as J Herbo runs for his life. Going to try and find an exit. And the auto, nice range on Trist. High and Hippie goes ahead and gets revenge for Rise at Dusk.
Yeah, absolutely nutty. You love to see that kind of play out of J Herbo. The super aggressive play going for the 1v1, but then unfortunately was a little too deep. Gets comboed by Worthy Dusk and just cleaned up by the Tristana, who's now sitting on 7-1 with a very large bounty.
Yep. Now we see Pickle Popper actually finished his rod at 20 minutes, which probably isn't ideal. But he does get that first item down. And again, the clock starts ticking now. There's always that clock in the back of your head with a comp like Bramble's.
Yeah, have the Cassidon, you have the Vayne, the Shen and the Kayn to scale up as well alongside. Just get tankier and harder to kill, but Tristana has her tiny Yordle hand just on the needles of that clock right now and trying as hard as she can to freeze that time from going forward. Just don't want to let Brambleback scale up as they summon the Rift Tower. Looks like it was timing out there towards the bottom side of the map as we take a look at the dragon spawn.
Yeah, it's always a good move here. But we actually have J Herbo and Nolark going after this Maokai in the top as Soul is up. Blue team steals the dragon. Quicksilver Sasha, she is incredible. Holds on for a little bit longer for Air Drake. Dainty Taco drops to Nolark. Quicksilver Sasha gave her life for that steal. Was it enough?
It might have just been giving her life for the Baron at this point, though, Endo. That 4 alive, and Cassidon is still showing on the bot side of the map. Jungler is down for Brambleback, and they're turning straight onto this Baron with double AD carry. They should do this very fast.
Look at that health bar drop. Yeah, I think double AD carry is a good call here with the Baron take.
They have to stay on this. They cannot peel off of this right now.
Yeah, do not disengage. Oh no, the flashback really does. Going to try and do some peeling. Paco, believe in it. He does smite it mid-fight. He's got his attention on 2 sides. Nolark finally drops down. Haim Hippie's unstoppable. J Herbo's going to go ahead. The exhaust by Haim Hippie. What a big brain take summoner. It's going to totally shut him down. Oh, Paco smells blood. Is he going to throw that axe? He lands on Aladdin. The Black Shield's just a little bit too slow. Quicksilver Sasha's back, but it's 2 levels down. Taco's going to go ahead and snare him up, but that we have the Latin Buddha making Paco stop. There's only one thing that will stop Paco from walking forward, and that is a snare by Morgana because he physically can't.
Yeah, and now that's a 10k gold lead for the side of Air Drake with the Baron on soul point on this next spawn. Will give them that Cloud Soul in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Endo, and they have all the tools they need to close this game out. It's on the execution now, and it's on Pickle Popper and J Herbo, these carries for the side of Brambleback, to try to make sure that does not happen. They do not want to lose this game sitting at top of the standings to a team that's close to the bottom. But Air Drake's showing that they have a spot in this league and that they belong, really, as a contender. If they can put the hurt on Brambleback like this, coming into playoffs, it's looking really good for them.
It's anyone's week every week, Sable. I just, and you're saying it's on Pickle Popper and J Herbo's shoulders right now, but unfortunately, they've been so bullied in the early. Look at their items. It's like they have a garage sale right now. They're just throwing things out that they found in their attic that might work in this situation. Very, very impressed. Oppressed. Nice job by Air to understand you gotta push it with this team comp.
Yeah, we have 3 items on Hayam Hippie in the mid lane, as opposed to the 1.5 items from Pickle Popper and the Cassidon. So he is miles behind at this point, 2 levels down as well. And it's just going to get harder and harder. The more gold Airdrake end up snowballing in their favor with this Baron buff, there's really no wave clear either from the side of Brambleback. Hard to end up clearing these Baron minions out, but Airdrake not really committing here for the push.
Oh, we have a big engage by Quicksilver Sasha. We have Tristana still alive in the bot lane, but J Herbal slays Caitlyn and then double kill. He does have Ginsu's. That's a huge power spike for him. We're going to see if Colonel Paco's going to be able to peel away. No, the Black Shield prevents the slow. Hayam Hippie has now joined, but he's completely taunted, unable to do the damage he wants to do. Dainty Taco's going to be slain down. Paco's dead. Hayam Hippie's the only one left alive. Latin Buddha is looking to secure this kill, but gets shut down by Pickle Popper. Uh-oh.
And it's that time of the game, Endo. It's the late game composition getting to a scaling point by Brambleback. Really not even actually at that point yet. Really more of a blunder from Airdrake to position the way they did, and some amazing taunts by Nallark and a great flank by Quicksilver Sasha in the mid lane to get that fight for Airdrake. That's exactly what they needed, because now they're at a point where they know they have the scaling advantage, and Airdrake is feeling a little concerned because they know the more kills they give over to Brambleback at this stage of the game, the harder and harder this game gets to close out, especially with an all AD composition.
That is scary. That is scary, man. To be up that far ahead and to get wiped like that. And it was all because of positioning, like you're saying. They had Tristana split bot, who was able to secure a turret, but that's not worth at all if you have Baron.
No, not at all. You want to group that mid lane, punish their lack of wave clear. And I think this next fight here around the Cloud Dragon Endo is really going to spell the tale of how this game's going to go. If Bramble can win this fight here, I think they're just going to be winning all the fights from here on out if they get to that point where they're actually taking the team fights. And if Eric can cement this victory in this fight, then they might be able to push that, soul to a win.
Yeah, I mean that you nailed it. You nailed it on the head, right? This fight determines the game basically. How are they going to perform? Chenault is still up, so he's able to split top, and take that turret. You know what, though? There's not too much armor on the side of Airdrake. I know we keep talking about an AD comp, but looking at the items, it's not... Fights aren't yet unwinnable.
Yeah, the Kayn isn't very tanky yet. There's a good amount of armor on the Shen and the Morgana and the Cassidon, having those Seekers on both of those champions, but...
It's not unkillable armor.
It's not unkillable yet.
And we have the dragon fight going in. Shen's still pushing top wave.
Nice Maokai ult.
Oh, Maokai ult big. Oh, it's going to be a steal. No, Paco secures the kill. We have J Herbal's going to get stunned up, but Black Shield so he can get some damage down. Double kill for Colonel Paco. Run, man, run. Chuck those axes. He's going to go ahead and take some damage off. Double kill for Hayam Hippie. Woo.
And that's a 4-4-1 for Airdrake. Coming out with a dominant performance there. Pain's going straight onto that bottom inhibitor. Shen didn't get the ult off, or rather didn't get the ult to go through before his target that he ulted actually died, and didn't opt to teleport into the fight afterwards. So it's going to be solo defending this base now against 4 members of Airdrake, who are definitely going to be able to take this inhibitor, and then probably look to take that Baron in 45 seconds. I don't think they can end. Cassidon, Morgana, and Kayn coming up relatively soon, but that is definitely the inhibitor. I would like to see them reset and go for the Baron here in about 40 seconds.
It was that five-man fight. Air realizes what the problem was last time. Don't split. You keep it all grouped. And guess what? When Shen tries to join, the fight's already over. You have so much damage on your team, the ult takes too long to channel.
Yeah, and we saw a phenomenal ultimate come out from Dainty Taco there, right at the perfect health value for the Dragon to kind of zone Bramble from getting in there, and then Paco was able to absolutely pop off.
Oh, that's stiff arm from Airdrake onto Quicksilver Sasha. She so badly wanted to steal this Drake as well. Just couldn't do it. They had the Maokai ult. layered with the Leona ult. She just had to sit out the pit and just be like, I know I can take it. If I can just smite it, if I can get there. But they did not allow her to do it.
Yeah, and we saw Worthy Dust actually land a Zenith Blade on the J Herbo in the backline and just zone the Vayne completely from the fight. So hats off to him for how he played that fight as well. And they're going to have to pull something else like that out again. And they have the positioning set up to do it. Pickle Popper in the bot lane can teleport in. Not really any great flank wards to get in on right now. I think Brambleback just kind of has to play back a little bit. Because if you get engaged on like that again by Airdrake when you're kind of trying to posture around the objective, they're just going to ace you and take the Baron and probably the game.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and start pushing for this Baron. It is melting
Looks like they're just giving it.
Yeah, there's no engage. Oh, actually, they're going to walk in now, but it's going to be too late. Oh, we have the Maokai ult and the Leon ult flash forward, but he's going to get stunned. Wow, Dainty Talk was just speeding around looking for anyone to secure. Nolark's going to have to hit a blasting plant and get out of there.
Yeah, quick Baron, double 80 carry, always quick at taking these Barons. Ends up chunking the Shen a little bit to delay his recall by just a small amount. Colonel Paco now does land the axe.
Oh, he's going in. He sees blood. He's going to go ahead and throw axes. Big heal by J Herbo. Oh my God, shuts down Colonel Paco. This is still a Vayne.
Yeah, still a Vayne, and you got to respect it. Colonel Paco, maybe eyes getting a little too big there as the rest of the team gets into the bot lane inhibitor tower. Should fall. As Kassadin's only recalling now, the teleport's available, but he's not going to be there, and that's another inhibitor for Airdrake.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good for Air now. I know. Now, Bramble does have the scaling comp. They want to slow it down. It's kind of hard with opposite inhibs down. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, and the Baron buff too. And honestly, if I'm Airdrake, I send 5 straight to mid lane with the Baroned up minions. There is no effective wave clear for the side of Brambleback. You can hard punish, take that third inhibitor, and just be clean set up for that Elder Dragon to close the game out. And I want to see them do that. I think playing the side lanes right now would be somewhat of a mistake for Airdrake with how the composition functions and conducts itself in this point of the game. So really hope we see them do that if they want to look to close this game out. But if they don't, you know, Bramble has a window where they can punish. We saw the Vayne's power in that 1v1 against the Olaf.
Yeah, and Bramble has the power to identify that, right? As soon as they see that the fight is favorable for them, you know they're going to go ahead and take it. Oh, we have a big Leo ult. Worthy that's going to jump forward. Nice black shield onto J Herbo, keeping him alive. However, Paco, the Pickle Popper, doesn't have the ult. He's going to go ahead and Zanya's Nolark in the middle of everyone taking so much damage. And then we have still no deaths going down. Corrected. J Herbo takes down Paco while I'm Hippie takes down Kassadin. Oh, the fight's still going. We have a nice knockup onto by Kane, but it's not going to be enough damage. Dainty Top was a little thick right now. Nolark going to stay alive. Worthy Dust actually drops down.
Yeah, Sasha's
trying to get away. He's the only one that's still alive on Airdrake, but he jumps in. He doesn't even care. This is going to be the game if he gets that kill.
Quadra kill.
Quadra kill for Hayam Hippie. He's going to try and secure it now. He still has Baron buff.
Massive play by the Tristana. Can just go straight to the Nexus towers now. I know the Baron up super minions are there. There's nobody alive for Brambleback. Hayam Hippie absolutely popping off in that fight, closing the game out with a quadra kill in fashion and taking the series 1-1 for Airdrake.
Clippy, that Hippie, that is incredible.
That was like, I didn't even realize the amount of damage he was putting out in that fight till the very end where everybody else has 2 HP. He's full HP Tristana. I think he actually just straight up killed Latin Buddha on the Morgana with the rocket jump, not even having to use an auto attack. But wow, phenomenal play out of Airdrake that game, doing exactly what they had to do with their early game composition against Brambleback's draft, which was a little greedy with the amount of late game picks they chose for themselves and got punished for it.
Absolutely. Now, who are we going to do interviews? Do we have time for that?
We got about 10 minutes here. We have time for some interviews. So who would you like to pull in here for these interviews?
Game 1, we have to bring in Hippie. I mean, you got to do it. The man went 16-2.
Oh, yeah.
I actually would love to hear from Nolark to hear about that comp from Game 1.
Okay, so we're going with Nolark and Hippie.
Yeah, I think that'd be...
Let's do it. So we'll just transition here to Discord. I'll mute us on Zoom. All right, so let me just pull these guys up. We'll get to the interview screen here in a second.
And Chad, if you want to ask any questions, now's the time to start. Asking. We'll be happy to. if we think it's good enough. We'll see. I don't know if it's good enough,
Uh,
but it's worthy of a question. We'll ask it. The decision will be mine and Zabel's. There's no democracy here.
yes, absolutely. Gentlemen, hello.
Hello.
Hippie and Narlark, greetings. Congratulations to both of you on your wins today, both picking up one win in these games. And I guess we'll start with you, Narlark, for your game one composition was super global centric. And was that kind of the plan you guys were going for in this series? You wanted to be able to be all over the map?
Uh, I mean, so I think the Shen Nocturne was definitely something we at least done before, and it wasn't like the worst thing. I picking ASOL is a little bit of a surprise. We kind of like save it for the end.
Hmm.
But yeah, so it was kind of just the Shen Nocturne we really like. I guess not really like, but we think it's a decent combo.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that's all I can really say.
Yeah, it looked clean for you guys, able to close out that game in honestly a pretty dominating fashion and looking really scary with the global composition. There's a lot of backline threat, and you guys played your rotations extremely well with objective control, lane dominance in most of your lanes in that game. And despite there was a few hiccups, I believe, in that game one and around the mid game where
Yeah.
Air had some fights where, it pulled it out, kind of looked like they maybe had a small chance to come back, but you guys were quick to shut that door. Endo, any thoughts on that game?
I actually want to hear like what are your comms like? Because it seemed like you guys were able to respond pretty quickly when one of you got picked out. What are comms like during that when someone gets locked up by the Leo
I mean, a lot of the
or
times if
Thresh?
someone's like, I watch the map most of the time, like top lane, so on
Wait,
Shen.
you
So I mean,
watched the map?
Watch the
What do you
map,
mean?
five head.
Wait, what?
yeah. So I mean, but like they do like our team does a good job of like the comms at least most of the time, and just like being like, hey, like we're going in, I need this or something. Like we always try to like set up for fights beforehand. Like we know, okay, are we taking a fight here? Or are we not? So things like that.
Right,
I
perfect.
did
So
see that on the cast, and we were actually speaking to it on how you guys seem to have a go button. Hey, this is the one we engage hard, go, and everyone, there's no hesitation. I don't ever see a champion walking back and forth deciding, do I go in?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Hippie was really good on the Victor too. Like big shout out to the, like yeah, it really kind of. I think that was like the main like difficulty for us, because
Right.
like the Victor kind of like stops a go button sometimes. So yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it. There's a lot of zone control coming out from the Victor, and really some of your only backline access was that Nocturne with the Shen combo, but able to pull it out and kill the backline from Air Drake effectively enough to close out that game in a pretty dominating fashion. Now I'm going to bring it over to you, Hippie, for game number two. Pulling out the Tristana mid, rounding out an all AD composition for your team. Chat was a little suspect on that, thinking that just build armor five head, but you guys were able to snowball enough in the early game to make that game look easy. So tell us about your thoughts on the draft there and kind of what you were thinking going into game two, if you expected them to pick an only late game team comp and how you thought about punishing that.
Yeah,
So as soon as we saw that they, before I had picked the Tristana, I really liked the Tristana into Kassadin. Pre-6 and even at level 6, I basically just have lane priority the entire time. And as soon as we saw them pick like a very late game oriented team, and we had some pretty strong early skirmishing, our kind of game plan going in was just let's keep our foot on the pedal all the way down and just come at them very hard and just try to close out this game as quick as possible.
You did. We saw a go-go mentality there, including with an Olaf pick. You want to talk about a move forward champion? Now tell me a little bit about do you play Tristana a lot, or was this just a counter pick opportunity with the Kassadin first pick or blind pick?
Yeah, Tristana for me is I don't play her often at all. It's pretty much only strictly a counter pick to Kassadin. That's basically the only time I ever pull it out.
I love it. I love it.
Love to see
Anything
it.
else?
Yeah. It looked clean from you guys, honestly. The early game snowball was perfect. There was a few, out of position moments from some of the members of your team. Didn't really spell a turning point in the game at any point. That you guys kind of kept your foot on the gas for the majority of that game. Had good rotations, taking the two inhibitors and then punishing down through the mid lane and closing out the game with a quadra kill. Must feel pretty good against the number 1 seed in the Rec League here, and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, guys, we're going to send it over to the 6 p.m. stream. I believe Brian the Broken is casting this one, and it looks like we will have... Who is playing? We have Gromp versus Ocean, so kind of a battle of the friendship groups. I know a lot of those guys have been friends for years and years and years. Ocean looking to take some games here to secure their spot, not being knocked out of playoffs yet. A little awkward way to say that, but you guys know exactly what I'm saying. So Ocean in dire need of some wins. Gromp in dire need of really cementing themselves as one of these top threats in the league, and their ability to punch down will be shown here in this series. So without further ado, we'll send it to the 6 p.m. cast, Gromp versus Ocean. Thanks for joining me on the cast, Endo. A phenomenal time as always, and GG's to both of you guys from the 1-1.
Yeah, GG's.
GG's, thank you.